So it's a large amount of data. We can represent it in a different form. We learn the pictogram in which we represent the information in graphical means picture representation. After that we learn bar graph. In that we represent the given data in graph paper using bars of height and width. After that we learn double bar graph. In that double bar graph we can use the double bar graph to compare two different information, and also we learn about the telebar to represent different. We learn about the frequency distribution also. In that we make a different groups of information if the large amount of data is given. So telebar graph we also learn. Today we will learn one more representation of data, that is a histogram. Now histogram means, if we take a previous example of different students get different marks in subject maths, so we represent grouped frequency distribution table using telebars that we already learned previous. So if we use this data that in 0 to 10 there are 2 students, frequency means 2 students. How many students get marks lower than 10 means they are 2 students. How many students get marks between 10 to 20? 10 students. So frequency represents 10 students get marks between 10 to 20. 21 students get marks between 20 to 30. 19 students get marks between 30 to 40. 7 get marks between 40 to 50, and 1 student get marks between 50 to 60. So this is what the grouped frequency distribution whenever the information is very large. Now we represent this in a graphical representation using histogram. So for that again we need to use a graph paper. So here you need to use a graph paper for this example, and if you have graph book for NCERT and if this example is given, then you can also draw graph in NCERT graph book. So let's start. Here again we need to use vertical line and horizontal line. So vertical line represents x and horizontal line represents y and horizontal line represents x. Intersection point is the origin, that is it. Now here you can see it is a grouped frequency, means it starts from 0 to 10. So this is our 0, that is our origin, and next is 10. After 10 there will be 20, then 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Now on vertical line group you represent frequency, that is the number of students. So here we will make a group of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Here it means you write y-axis 1 unit is equal to 2 students. Okay, you need to draw this in a graph paper. So in 0 to 10, how many students get marks between 0 to 10? You can see here 2 students get marks between 0 to 10. So here you can draw a histogram for 2 students like this. Now 10 students gets marks between 10 to 20. So here 10 to 20 is this group. So 10 students means you can represent it like this. Now from 20 to 30, 21 students. So here this is the group of 20 to 30. So number of students are 21. So you can represent it between 20 and 22. So this is the bar for 20 to 30. Now 30 to 40, 19 students. So it is between 18 and 20. So this is the bar for 20 to 30 to 40. Now 7 students, 40 to 50. So it is here. So this is the bar for 40 to 50. And last one student get 50 to 60. So it will be, okay, you can write here also 2, 10, 21, 19, 7 and 5. Now here you can Why? Because it is a grouped frequency distribution. So here we need to make a group of 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Means there is no gap between each group. So this is called the grouped frequency distribution, and this represent is called histogram. Okay. So histogram is used to represent grouped frequency distribution. So here, what we learn? The height of the bars show the frequency of the class interval. Whatever height, you can say this is the height, means it represents frequency. Now for this example, what is the frequency? It is the number of students. So frequency represented by the height of the bars. Also there is no gap between bars, as there is no gap in the class interval. If there is an information, means if none of the student gets marks between 30 to 40, कोई पण स्टूडेंट ने 30 to 40 बच्चे मार्क्स आया ना हो, so at that time we have a gap between 30 to 40. But here in this example there is no gap between bars because there is no gap between a class interval. Now next, the graphical representation of data in this way is called the histogram. So this way representation is called histogram. So what you need to remember, when we represent bar graph, when information about like subject and marks is given, name of the student and the particular performance is given. But if it is about the grouped frequency distribution, whenever we are making the group of data, then it will be better to use a histogram to represent it in a graphically form. So here one more example to understand the histogram is given. So if the graph is given, this is the histogram, and you need to write the question, answer of the question. So here what information is given in this table, you can see this is the age of different teachers. So you can write ages of teacher and number of people in particular school. So between 20 to 25 age, how many teachers are there? There are 4 teachers which have age between 20 to 25. Now between 25 to 30, how many teachers? 5. Between 30 to 35, there are 6 teachers. 35 to 40, there are 3 teachers, and 40 to 45 to 45 50, there are 5 teachers. So here the information in a group of ages is given. Group start from 20 to 25, now 25 to 30, 30 to 35, 40 to 45, and 45 to 50. You can write like this: 25 to 30. 30 to 35, 35 to 40, 40 to 45, and 45 to 50. So how many teachers have age between 20 to 25? There are 4 teachers. Now 25 to 30, there are 5 teachers. In age group of 30 to 35, there are 6. 35 to 40, 3 teachers, and 40 to 45, 2, and last 5. So this information is using histogram is given. Now bars with the equal width, no gap in between. So there is no gap between each bar. Now next, height represents the frequency. Now in this example, frequency is what? Number of teachers. So here height represents frequency, and frequency is called the number of teachers for this example. Now here you can see this jet line is given. Now what is jet line? That indicate we are not showing the numbers between 0 to 20. If there is an information for a teacher, it will be start from 20, age of 20. So obviously there is no information for age of 0 to 20. Okay, below 20 age there will be no teacher. So that's why we are showing the jet line. It means there is no information for 0 to 20 is given. So instead of showing the space, it is better to use jet line. Okay, so jet line represents we are not showing the information from 0 to 20. Now question: how many teachers are of age 45 45 to 50. More than 45 and less than 50. It means how many teachers are there in a group of 45 to 50. So how many teachers are there in a group of 45 to 50? You can see there are 5. So we can represent 5 teachers are there in an age group of 45 to 50. How many teachers are of age less than 35? Now here it is 35. So how many teachers are there? There are 6 plus 5 plus 4. So you can write 6 plus 5 plus 4. So there are 15 teachers that are less than age of 45. Now next, we will start exercise 5.1. Here question number 1 is, for which of this would you use the histogram to show the data? So statements are given and you need to find that for which statement we will use the histogram. Now already I explained that we use histogram to represent the grouped frequency distribution. Okay. So here first statement, the number of letters for different area in postman bags. So if this information is given, number of letters in different area, it means what kind of table we have for this? Name of the area and number of letters for that area. Clear? What kind of information will be there for this statement? Here we have area and number of letters for a different area. For example, for first area there are 5 letters, for second area there are 2 letters. So are we going to represent this in a group to frequency distribution? No, there is no group. So we will not represent histogram for this data. Now next, the height of competitors in an athletic meet. Okay, so here representation of height of the competitor. Now if there are 50 competitors, if there are 50 participants, then we need to represent the height of 50 participants. So that there may be a group of height between 130 to 135. 135 to 140, 140 to 145. So there may be a group of height of the competitors. So here we will make a group of height. That's why we will use a histogram for this data. The number of cassettes produced by the companies. So here 5 companies. Means here the information about the name of 5 company and number of cassettes. So what information? If we consider 5 companies, let's say A, B, C, D, and company A produce 50 cassette, company B produce 40 cassette, company C produce 30, company D produce 40. So this is what? Is there any group? No, there is no group is there. So we cannot represent this as a histogram. We will represent it as a bar graph. So we will not represent in a histogram. Now next, the number of passenger boarding train from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. means in the morning from 7 to evening 7. So here we need to represent from 7 to 8 a.m. how many students are boarding. From 8 to 9 how many passengers are boarding. From 9 to 10, 10 to 11. So here we are making the group of time. Means we are representing the group to frequency distribution. So yes, we are going to represent this information in a histogram. Now let's take the second example. Here the shopper who come to departmental store are marked as man. If it is a man come in a shop, so it is represented by M. If it is woman, then W. If the shopper is boy, then it is represented by B, and if the shopper is girl, then it is represented by G. Mark the frequency distribution table and draw a graph. Here you need to draw a graph in a graph paper. If this table is given in your NCERT graph book, then you need to fill up this information in NCERT graph book and you need to draw a graph for the table. So let's draw. First of all, we cannot directly draw the graph for this. We need to make a frequency distribution table. So let's make a frequency distribution table. So here four is man, W for woman, B for girl, B for boy, and G for girls. Now frequency. So count the number of men that visit the store. So how many? We need to consider the letter M. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15. So M is 15. So we need to represent 15 carry marks. So here 5, 5 and 15. It means 15 men where we visit the store. Now for women. So count the W. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 and 28. So we need to draw 28 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27 and 28. So this is 15, this is 28. Now how many boys? So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So boy and 5. Now let's count the number of girls visit the store. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So we will draw 12 elements. 5, 10 and 12. Okay. So this way we can represent the frequency distribution table. Now we need to represent this in a graph. So for a graph, you need a graph paper. Draw a vertical line and one horizontal line. So here we can represent software and here frequency, or you can say number of stop. It is start from 0. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. Now here you can see our information. Lowest is 5 and largest is 28. Means we need to start from 5 to 20. So we will make a group of 2, or you can make a group of 5. So let's make a group of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. Clear? Now, here, man, woman, then boy, and last girl. So here, how many men visit the store? You can see 15. So we will represent between 14 and 16. How many women visit the store? That is 28. So we will represent the bar for. So you need to draw this graph in a graph paper. Then boys, there are 5 boys, which is between 5 and 6 and 4. And girls are 12, so it is represented like this. So this is the graphical representation and this is the tabular representation of given information.